Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. Again, good day of practice. We put the helmets on today. The intensity stepped up a little bit as much as we could with, again, no pads, short week, just trying to get the guys ready and prepared from a physical standpoint as well as mentally for Thursday's game. And with that, I'll take your questions.
How did Jeremy look, and you feel like he may be active this week?
He moved around well. It was good to see him out there, running around, communicating, talking, and I doubt very likely that I will put him in that situation this week.
What does that mean? He will play or will not play?
I doubt very likely that I would put him in that situation this week to play. With a day of walkthrough and he hasn't practiced or played in 6 weeks, that's like really asinine.
I know it's not here, but what was your thoughts on Jeff Saturday, another interim head coach, kind of getting that job?
Man, my focus is on the Carolina Panthers, and I'm just trying to win a football game. So I'm not even thinking outside the Bank of America Stadium right now.
Meeting with these guys, anything, without giving away the game plan, obviously, but the game plan stay kind of similar because a familiar opponent? I mean, how do you approach Thursday night?
You're not going to give the game plan away, but you want me to speak it to everybody else and give it away. Yeah, we know for a fact that we got to stop the run against these guys, and they do a great job running the ball. Patterson is back this go round, which we didn't play against him before. And likewise, we have to do a great job of establishing the run up front. So I think that's where the game is going to be won, in the trenches at the line of scrimmage. And based off what we didn't do this past week, we got to do a great job early on stopping that run. They're going to take the shots over the top. I mean, that's what they do with the vertical game off play action, and we got to be ready for that.
What does Patterson bring to them, Steve, that kind of make them?
Just a different dimension. I think he's just so explosive. Hard-nosed runner. He can run in between the tackles, outside. He creates different matchup problems, and he brings that element also in the kicking game, but they decide to use him there.
How is it looking for Donte and Burns this week?
So far, it's looking good. You guys got to understand it's sort of tough to tell when you don't really have pads on to really see that pounding and that banging. I think Donte is going to be fine. We'll see exactly how things go with Burns.
Steve, what makes Marcus Mariota tough to defend in the run? How do you kind of assess how you did it just 2 weeks ago as you prepare to face him again?
I think anytime you have an element of the quarterback being able to run the ball, it creates problems because it's creating an extra gap. And you see so much now of the college game infiltrating the National Football League, and that's what he did in college at Oregon, and that's what he did at the Titans. So we got to make sure that we're sound in our keys and our reads, and really go out there and execute. So he creates a problem for us, but we got to make sure that we're on point with our assignments.
Have you been, of course, someone on your staff been tracking this tropical storm, and how might that affect, I guess, offensive game plan?
Well, we always try to make sure that we stay on top of the weather. So, yes, we have. And I thought it was going to be late midnight Thursday night. Now it seems like it's going to come in a little earlier. So we have talked about wet balls and those kind of things, trying to prep and prepare ourselves for it. Yes, sir.
Is there any extra juice that comes with playing primetime Thursday night game?
Personally, for me, I would say it's just, you got to go play football. But for the players, Thursday night, national stage, yes, I think it does bring a different element for those guys because all the peers are looking. So it's an exciting time.
Every week is about execution and doing your job and that sort of thing, but on such a short turnaround, how much is the element of want to? When you got guys that are tired and banged up and they got to go back out and play in just 4 days?
It's huge, particularly coming off a loss that we had this past week. You do try to emphasize and talk about the fundamentals and technique of the game in a short week, just all the details that you just mentioned. But you have to have that physical part about you that when you step on that field, it's time to go play. And that's what you're hoping that we have in such a short week.
Steve, you're right back into the divisional play. I mean, obviously, it's something that you emphasized before the last few. How, what's the sense of urgency to climb back into this thing that you're only 2 games out of?
Again, it's the next opponent. It just so happened it's a Atlanta divisional game, and we want to win this game no different than how we wanted to win last week's game. So it does put us in a situation where we 1 game out, being able to get this game. So it's important, but it's not the end of the year. We got to go play hard. We got to come out and execute and be the team that I know we can be, as we've shown the previous 2 weeks.
How do you duplicate this size threat of Kyle Pitts and Drake London in practice?
It's hard to duplicate, even the run style of the quarterback. I think it's just mere fact that you just got to emphasize your technique and man-to-man and who you're covering. As coaches, we try to put those guys in position with the route combinations that we know he's going to run. And then the end result is just making plays on the ball, which we got to do a much better job of.
I don't know if we asked you this yesterday, but how did those changes yesterday with the staff affect you? Like, are you going to be spending more time on defense now?
I have today, a little bit more over there yesterday. So with a short week, I just want to make sure I have my eyes on that side of the ball, particularly with the changes that we did make. And then moving forward, we'll see exactly what we need to do for us, making sure that everybody is responsible for that position. Most importantly, I want to make sure that secondary is detailed in the things that we need to get done.
Has it impacted since you took over, there's 3 defensive coaches less than you had before? It's just having the less staff out there. Has that impacted the team at all? Or
no, it hasn't. It hasn't. I know what you're saying for us, less bodies and whatnot, but guys have done a great job of stepping up. Terrence Knight does a great job with the inside guys, even when Paul was here. So he's continuing to work with those guys. Same thing with Donte Jackson on the outside with the defensive ends in the rush. So, and then, Bobby's done a great job with the safeties. And then myself and Al just being able to fill in and fit where needed.
Will you take on any more of a role in the defense on game days?
I think that role is already there, just with the communication of what we're calling, what needs to be called, what's the situation like. So there's constant communication and clarity on both sides of the ball during game day, as well as he's still calling the defense.
even though you're the interim coach, do you feel like you have a little more power over the staff and the changes than you had even at Arizona, where you kind of inherited that staff too?
I don't want to say is more power. I don't like to use that word power. As I told the coaches the other day, I try to empower the staff, before they can go do their job, and try to encourage those guys. But in the same token, when I say something, something said, something meant. So that accountability is there, and it needs to get done.
This might be an asinine question, but you're not going to fill any of those spots, like externally, are you?
There's always possibilities, just always trying to bring guys in. I wouldn't think about anything in a short week, to do that. So just trying to get through this week and win a football game. So it's always a thought.
Potentially.
Yes. Mm-hmm.